Now, since we're in Fraken episode territory, did you see the defense that she had saying that she was thanking God for protecting her child till the zookeepers got there to kill the gorilla?
No, I did not see that.
Yeah.
She was thanking God for protecting her child until the zookeepers came and killed the gorilla.
Yeah.
Some people. I don't really care too much about, like, I don't like PETA. I'm not one of these people who's like, oh, animals have rights too, blah, blah, blah. But I'm actually upset that they killed that gorilla, because it's like, this woman was a dumbass, and they had to kill a silverback gorilla.
Granted, I would have liked to see how that kid got in there.
Who knows? Kids are resourceful.
Kids are little monkeys. Literally.
They are. Kids are like little monkeys.
No, they literally are primates. Young primates love to climb and get into trouble.
My kid is 2, and he could climb in places I can't believe he can climb. But I mean, it's my duty as a parent to make sure that he doesn't, climb into a fucking gorilla habitat.
Well, at least you could play the God angle and, get all out of all sorts of trouble, right?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, because
I hate that as an excuse, too. That's such a bullshit excuse.
Well, here's the thing is that... Oh, I'm probably going to cause so much trouble with this one. But if God is protecting your child, why the fuck did it end up in the gorilla cage?
Yeah. My mom, when I texted... My mom's a super hardcore Christian. So I texted her to let her know I'd boarded my plane yesterday, and she texted me back, and she was like... Okay, I'll see you when you get home. I know God is going to hold the plane in the air as you fly.
Actually, that's the wings' job.
I texted her back and I said, actually, the laws of physics and the wings, or the laws of physics functioning properly with the wings is what's going to keep me in the air as I come home. And she was like, well, that's just God's miracles. And I just was like, okay, Mom, whatever. Like, that was my text back to her. Okay, whatever, smiley face. Because there's no point. There's just no point.
Yeah.
So. All in the name of research.
Shall we try to get to a more family-friendly topic?
Yeah, sure. Let's go talk about GOG Connect.
Yeah, this is an interesting thing that just popped up a little bit before recording.
Something else popped up before recording.
Oh, wow.
Okay, I'm done. I couldn't resist.
Wow, you lasted, 5 seconds there?
Well, I mean, that's normal.
Yeah, well, it was enough. I mean, you have a kid.
Yeah, it's good enough for me.
So, now let's move on.
Yes, let's move on. I swear I'm done for a little while.
Well, you need a rest.
I do need a rest.
And possibly a sandwich.
I'll get one later.
Okay, so GOG Connect. Basically, GOG's trying to get a bigger market share, in my opinion. They're allowing people to connect their Steam account to GOG and giving people a DRM-free copy of games that they have on their Steam library that matches their offered games. It's actually a very, very generous thing.
Mm-hmm. It is. It's very easy to use, too. We've both went through the process already. Right now, it takes a little while because they're being bombarded.
Everyone's doing it right now.
But I'm sure in a few days, once all of the people who noticed it right away have cycled through, the service will work much quicker. But I mean, basically, you just log into your GOG account. You then log into your Steam account, and if you've never linked your Steam account to anything before, you have to log in, say that you want whatever it is, which in this case is the GOG Connect service to connect to your Steam account, and it pulls your Steam history or your Steam library and says, okay, you have this many games in your library that we also have that are available right now, and you just say that you want them in your library, and there they are. I got 7 more games in my GOG library now.
Yeah, I got 11 out of this, but it's still backed up, so I don't see them in my GOG library just yet.
Yeah, mine are already in my library. Let's see. Right now I added Two Worlds, The Witcher Enhanced Edition, To the Moon, FTL, Mountain Blade, Saints Row 2, and Bit Trip Runner.
Yeah, if I can find the list of games, I could tell you what I would add. Let's see. I'm trying to find the list of the games anyway. Because it would be helpful, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it says there's... Is it over 20 or over 30 games is what they say?
Well, technically, over 30 is over 20.
That's fair, but they would say over 20 if there were like 25, and over 30 if there were, 30, whatever.
Let's see. Yeah, I'm looking for this now. Should have had this set up. More elevator music, right? Yeah, and I'm not seeing the games list now because it was there before, but I think it's because I've connected.
Here they are. I've got them.
Okay.
So the games, do you just want me to read them?
Yeah, go ahead.
Bit Trip Runner, they're not alphabetical for some reason. Or maybe, no, they're not. Bit Trip Runner, FTL, Mountain Blade, Saints Row 2, Witcher Enhanced Edition, To the Moon, Two Worlds, Braid, Breach and Clear Deadline, Broken Sword, Galactic Civilizations 3, Project Zomboid, Shadowrun Returns, Sherlock Holmes, Secret of the Silver Earrings, The Incredible Adventures of Van Helsing, The Witness, Trine Enchanted Edition, Unreal Gold, Unreal Tournament, Game of the Year Edition, V's, VVVVV, and Xenonauts.
Actually, that's pronounced V. Also known as the sound that you make whenever you see Tracer's ass.
Oh, now you're getting in there. Wink.
Oh, my.
So yeah, those are all the games available. I bet they're out of order because I just noticed like these have checks next to them and these have X's. The ones with the checks are the ones that I have, so it put them first.
Yeah, I went to Reddit and I was able to find the full list in order. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out which ones I have without going through my library. I'm pretty sure Bit Trip Runner, Braid, FTL, Mountain Blade, of course, Saints Row 2, Shadowrun, I'm pretty sure, The Witcher, To the Moon, Trine Enhanced Edition. I did a video series on that one. Two Worlds, and I'm pretty sure that's it.
I wonder why I don't have The Incredible Adventures of Van Helsing, because I have that
This
game.
is actually the final cut. It's the one that has all the games combined.
That's why, because I have the games separate.
Well, actually, you could get the final cut version free if you have all three versions.
I think I only have 1 and 2. I might have all 3. I've definitely got 1 and 2.
The third one in that series wasn't exactly great.
I didn't think the first 2 were exactly great.
The first one wasn't bad. The second one was and I wasn't hip on getting the third one right away, and then they announced the final cut and kind of killed my enthusiasm for it.
I played them for review some years ago.
I played them on my channel.
So yeah, they have said that they will bring more games into the list. Basically, developers have to allow it. So it's on a game-by-game basis. But they say that they will be adding more games to the service over time as they sign up more developers to this service. So to check back periodically and see if you get more games. But I think that's pretty cool. I agree with you. They're totally trying to increase their market share, get more people to use them, to get the DRM-free versions of things, because Steam still has DRM on many of its products. So
yeah.
If you're someone who's attracted...
I think Steam is DRM done right for the most part. It's not too obstructive.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. But, I mean, still, if you're someone who does not...
Yeah.
Like
Once a
DRM.
DRM-free copy, you're kind of out of luck for most of Steam games. There are some out there that don't have DRM that uses Steam as just a delivery service. But those are few and far between.
Right. So, if you're someone who really, really appreciates or cares about that sort of thing, then
Or just want a backup copy, really, because that's what I think a lot of people are going to treat this as.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm thinking of it as. Because, I've got the GOG, what is it, program? Like their equivalent of the Steam.
Galaxy?
Yeah, Galaxy, that's it. I've got GOG Galaxy installed, and I've opened it. I open it every once in a while and go, and then close it. Because, I've got 400 games on Steam. And
that's basically me whenever I fire up Uplay.
Yeah, I've got 400
actually,
games on
it's
Steam,
more of a disgusted sound whenever it has to update again.
and then I've got, let's see. I have 17 games on GOG now, and I've got 400 on Steam. So it's like, well, all my games are on Steam, so I'll just go there.
Yeah, what is my game total on GOG? Let's see. Where can I see game total real easy? 41.
I just went to my account, and then it
says 41 here. And on Steam, I think it has to make up a new number for this. Question. Is it supposed to display in scientific notation?
Not usually.
Okay, well, I have 1,137 games on Steam.
Jesus. I have 405. And, all of... The only one I'm playing is Factorio.
You've gone into the Factorio bug bad.
Yes, I have. There's not really a ton more to say about it. It's just...
it's an interesting move to try to increase their market share.
Yeah, just the reason we really want to talk about it, it's very rare that both of us pick up the exact same news story separately. And both of us chose this one, so we were like, well, we have to talk about it, even if it's only a few-minute conversation. So, I think it's good. It's good. Good thing.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where they go with this, because this is obviously bringing a lot of attention to them. I mean, just with how far their line is backed up.
Oh, and they're having a huge sale right now, too.
Yeah.
That's another thing. A lot of their stuff is 85% off right now.
Yeah, which is perfect timing with this.
Yeah, it's like, oh, and by the way.
Yeah, well, they have to get their sale done before the Steam Summer Sale at the end of June.
Yeah. Yep, I gotta go get some Steam wallet cards and get my wallet ready. Yeah, at the very bottom of the GOG Connect announcement on their website, and it's like, also for a bit of library building, a bunch of our favorite titles will also be discounted up to 85% off all week long, including, and then they list some games, and then a link to the game, all the games that are on sale. So, yep, they're definitely wanting you to spend some money, which I don't blame them.
Well, it's really good marketing.
Yeah, it's great marketing. I mean, it kind of makes me want to buy some stuff from them just to be like, this is a really good thing that you're doing.
Yeah, I do wish it went the other way as well. You're able to get a Steam key through GOG, but they've never done that.
Yeah. That would be nice. You can do that with Little Green Man Games, I think.
Green Man Gaming?
Yeah, Green Man Gaming. That's it, Green Man Gaming.
Yeah, which, by the way, make sure you have Flash turned off for them. Because I've aired out their site a couple times buying something through them. Whenever I had Flash block turned on.
I've technically never bought something from them. I don't know if they still do this or not, but they had like a little rewards thing. It's like, earn money by playing
I'm
games.
pretty sure that they've removed that.
Yeah, because I got like 2 or 3 games from them by doing that. So,
well, really, it's really tough to do a reward system nowadays because people just abuse the ever-living hell out of it.
Yeah.
I remember there's a small developer called Puppy Dog Games. For their anniversary, they gave away a free game from their library. And they are a very small developer. And people were just using the all their email accounts to make new accounts to their website just to get their full library for free, and just abuse the ever living hell out of them.
Right.
Yeah, and I've bought quite a few of their games. I think I actually have their entire library in the free game I got from them was completing my library. Or at least it was at the time. I'm not sure if they have released anything else since then.
Yeah, little Green Man Gaming has done away with the credit thing, and the credits that I had, I think I had like $3 left in credit. That's gone.
Yeah.
So boo. But I totally understand why they did it. I'm sure people abused it. I mean, I used it to get 2 or 3 really cheap games, and I wasn't really abusing the system. It's just like, oh, we see that you've played, a cajillion games. You've earned this many dollars.
Yeah, I'm just looking at puppy games, and it looks like I still have their entire library. They haven't released anything else major. Hope they're still active because it was really nice of them to do that.
Yeah.
What?
What did you say their name was? As a developer?
Puppy Games.
Puppy Games.
They actually made one of my favorite tower defense games called Revenge of the Titans. It's a bit of a weird tower defense game, though, because there's no laning.
Revenge of the Titans.
Has a good art style to it, in my opinion.
Oh, that's neat. I like that.
Hey, and it's a game that's not on your wish list. There's a first.
It's not on my wish list. You say that. That's a first. That happens like almost every episode. It's on my wish list now. But it wasn't.
Actually, now I'm tempted to go look to see if they're still active because they haven't released a game in a while. Looks like they're preparing to release something new, though.
Ultratron.
Yeah, they do a lot of retro gaming.
Ultratron is marked as not interested for me. Doesn't look very good, in my opinion.
It wasn't a bad game. I think I got that one very cheap through a coupon. Well, we're way off base.
Yep, let's go talk about our final news topic, which is No Man's Sky has been delayed.
And the internet lost its shit.
Yep.
It lost its shit more than it did with Tracer's ass.
Yep. I mean, the gist of it is, they said they needed more time and the game needed more polish, so they delayed it. And they received death threats.
Yeah.
Hooray.
Not cool.
Hooray, dumbasses on the internet. I'm personally happy that they delayed the game.
I still have no idea what the fuck this is supposed to be.
Oh, fair enough.
What?
Fair enough. I don't know. That caught me by surprise.
No, I'm honest.
No, I know that your statement is true.
It was going to come out how soon, and there was still no real info on what exactly the game was outside of very generic, just statements.
Wasn't the game set to release at the end of this month or the beginning of next month?
I'm pretty sure it was.
And now it's set to release August 12th. So it was only delayed a month and a half.
So most likely some sort of a weird bug. If I had to guess, it's probably some sort of bug in the procedural generation.
Yeah, I mean, their statement was key moments needed extra polish. And they had to make a tough call to delay the game for a few more weeks to ensure that, quote, something special is released.
Well, it'll be something special nonetheless.
I mean, I don't mind. I don't mind that the game has been delayed. I wish more games would get delayed instead of coming out broken.
Yeah, that's something that really needs to change, is this mindset of developers. I don't think it's really developers. I think it's the publishers that look at games and say, oh, we could fix it later. Because that first impression, that first release is really when that impression is made. People are going to always think of Batman Arkham Knight as a crappy PC port.
Yeah.
Because of those first few months when you couldn't run it on a supercomputer.
Yeah. So I'm glad it got delayed. I hope it doesn't get delayed again. I really want to see this come out and decide if I am going to buy it or not.
I want to find out what the fuck this is supposed to be.
I also really want to know what it is. Because there's still tons and tons and tons of rumors about the game. Still tons of speculation. there are some known facts and things that they've released over time, but I mean, we still haven't seen it play, see how well it works. So I want to see it before I even really consider buying it. But I mean, I hope that the game comes out and is a success because it looks really, really cool. But
it looks interesting to me.
I just can't believe. Well, I can believe because it's the internet, but it just is so frustrating that people lose their shit and threaten the death threats. Thankfully, the developers handled it very well.
Because killing the developer is really going to make the game come out a lot sooner.
Yeah, that'll fix it. That'll make the game come out. But no, thankfully they handled it very well and just kind of made some jokes and blew it off instead of getting really, upset and out of sorts about it.
Yeah, at least they didn't pull a Phil Fish and say, okay, you're not getting the game.
Pitching a big hissy fit. I'm taking my ball and going home. But it's just, I don't know. I don't really know if there's much more conversation to be had about it.
Yeah, it's just, keep it cool, man. Threatening the developer because they decide to delay the game to produce a better product is just asinine. I don't think there's any other way to put it.
Yeah.
What?
Okay, so I was looking up, I didn't remember all of the statements that they made about it. I've received loads of death threats this week. Don't worry, though. Hello Games now looks like the house from Home Alone. #Pillowfort. And then, tell me when it's safe to remove the marbles and oil from the stairs. It's getting really cumbersome, and I need the toilet. Oh, and apparently Kotaku got death threats, too, because of the article they wrote about it. They actually posted, I assume that this is this guy's Twitter name, or Twitter username?
Wait, Kotaku actually wrote something about video games and not random SJW bullshit?
Yeah. Let's see, before I say this, let me go look this up on Twitter.
While you look that up, I need just a moment.
I found what I was looking for, and then also went and did something and came back before you got back. And now I'm looking at more Overwatch porn. This one's in 60 frames a second.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Impressive.
It's very impressive porn. Never seen porn at 60 FPS before.
The human eye can't see tits above 12 FPS anyway.
Alright, let's close the Overwatch porn.
I think we found a new addiction for you.
Something for me to look at interestingly, like I do with aeromorphs. Okay, you ready?
At least this one I can understand.
Yeah. Are you ready to get back to it?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I was looking up this guy's Twitter to figure out if this was the guy who made the death threat or someone else's Twitter user name. I just didn't want to say that without checking first. And it is. It's the guy who made the death threat, and his Twitter.
Or at least one of them.
Yeah, and this guy's Twitter account has already been banned by Twitter. So it's at BeachClasherMDR. And they actually have the threat they made here. It says, your little article about No Man's Sky being delayed has made me hate you to my very core. It's the only thing I live for, and you go and write that bullshit about a delay instead of visiting London later this month. I think I'll come by and say hi to you and fuck you up. You think you can get away with that? Get away with this that easy? Making fun of our Reddit page also? Sounds like you have a death wish. We will find you. Be afraid, human. We're coming for you.
Be afraid, human?
Yeah.
Well, there's somebody that has some issues.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, Kotaku, I think it's triggered a lot of people with them making a video game article.
That's just, God, I just don't get it.
Sorry. I should stop making fun of Kotaku.
No, that's fine.
I shouldn't.
That's fine. That's not what I'm upset about. My job is to work with and understand people and help them overcome.
So how many issues does this guy have? Or is he up to a full subscription?
I mean, fuck. Why? What has gone so wrong in your life that causes you to obsess this much about a thing, to get this upset about it?
That he literally knows hardly anything about. That's what really gets me, is that we hardly know anything about No Man's Sky.
Yeah, if you go look at the No Man's Sky subreddit, most of it is speculation. There's one big thread that has that has every bit of information collected and put in it, so that you can go and just look at everything. But there's still so much speculation even within that, and there's still so much. Well, I mean, we know what this is, and we're kind of well, we think that this is this based on what they've said. And I mean, it does make sense what they've came up with, but still, it's you don't know. You just don't know yet. I wonder if this guy was sexually abused as a child. I'm serious.
I'm sorry. That's I know that is likely a trigger for this type of behavior, but not having that training, it just sounds completely out of left field.
No, I mean, obsessive behaviors are usually a coping response to childhood trauma and abuse. A lot of times it manifests itself as obsessive compulsive disorder, but I mean, this dude might be so focused in on this, he's using it as a coping mechanism. He probably goes from thing to thing in his life and treats it like this. As soon as No Man's Sky comes out, he'll find something else that consumes his life so that he doesn't have to deal with what's happened to him.
Part of me also wonders if this is just some kid, trying to be edgy.
I don't know. Kids say and do stupid shit, but if that's their definition of edgy, they probably have got some problems too. I just don't get it. I just don't. I mean, I've worked with people like this that obsess over something so much.
Ones that haven't called you Nazis?
Yeah, ones that haven't called me Nazis. And it's just so difficult. I just don't get it. I just don't. I've got years of training and now experience, and I don't get it.
The internet. The beautiful and scary thing about the internet is that everyone has a voice that can be heard.
Yep.
To give you an example, did you see me retweet a video from Max Maps
No.
during the week?
No, I don't think so. I missed a lot of stuff this last week.
Okay, I'm about to blow your mind. Okay.
Okay.
And I may have to make you pause the recording to go watch this. This was somebody claiming that the landing of the Falcon 9 first stage on the barge.
Oh, yes,
was
I
a
did
fake.
see this. I did see that. I did. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, using the camera on the booster itself landing, saying that was a fake.
Yep.
And that there was no way that it could be controlled like that.
Yep. He called it it's just a giant pencil or something like that.
Yeah.
That's what he called it.
A flying pencil.
A flying pencil. I've never in my life wanted to come through someone's computer monitor and smack them harder than I did with that. I don't know why. I've watched plenty of those, flat earther, whatever, conspiracy theory.
Oh, this guy is a
videos.
flat earther.
I know, but I've watched plenty of those just to laugh at people because I think they're stupid, and whenever I need to feel good about something that happened in my life, I go watch them, and I'm like, well, at least I'm not that dumb. But it just genuinely made me mad.
Yeah, and I had to retweet that after seeing that because it hurt. I mean, granted, I know I'm probably just helping him spread the word, but I think it's more people laughing at him and making him moderate his comments. Keep him out of trouble by having to moderate his comments.
Yeah, lots of his comments were very clearly sarcastic or making fun of him or calling him stupid in roundabout ways that, because he's dumb, he might have not noticed that they were actually doing that. That was most of that comment section, what at least made me feel a little bit better about it.
Well, here's the thing is that he was heavily moderating his comments. Because there was no way that he wasn't being torn apart otherwise. And you saw he also disabled ratings on his videos.
Yeah, I saw that. Man.
But yeah, that's the type of problem with the internet. But also the beauty of it is that the crazies have a voice.
Yeah. Oh, man. Crazy, crazy stuff. It's a crazy world.
Full of Nazis.
Full of Nazis, and I'm one of them. Taken out of... Someone, you can take that out of context if you want to. I'll just laugh at it. Okie dokie.
Well, it's Nazi to take that out of context. Oh, sorry. That was a terrible pun.
That was pretty bad. Even by your standards, that was pretty bad.
Thank you.
Okay, are you ready to move to Community Corner? Because I don't think we have anything else to say about this.
Yeah, it's just a lot of craziness. And for a game that we literally don't know what the fuck is going on with.
Lonely, I am so lonely. I have nobody to call my own. Lonely, I am so lonely. My good friend Rage, come back to me. I've owned every single Forza and every single Gran Turismo up until the one that was on PS4. PS3.
I've owned 2 of the Gran Turismos. I've got Grid 2. Actually, let's see what racing games I have on Steam. This ought to be fun and nice Fraken Show episode, Fraken Show content.
Yeah.
Let's see, racing games. I have, this is just what I have sorted, by the way, and not my unsorted games. Burnout Paradise, Coffin Dodgers, which is a kart racing game, Crash Time, Dirt 2, Flat Out 2 and 3, Grid, Midnight Club 2. I'm kind of skipping around, or skipping over some really bad games here. Trackmania United, Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed.
I love that game.
Yeah, that's a really good one. And I think that's the major ones that I have here. So I have a few.
Yeah, but most of yours are more arcadey titles or kind of the in-between. I'm like Forza and Auto Corsa and Gran Turismo and what was the Le Mans game? It's older, but it was a game that was doing the 24-hour Le Mans in real life. So I'm really into the simulation side of racing, and I don't have a problem with the arcade games, but
yeah, I never got too into the simulation style. I have played Gran Turismo. I wasn't terribly great at it, but I did play it.
I really like tinkering with my cars and posting. Like Forza's really good about this. You can create like custom tunings.
You're going to laugh, but I did really enjoy playing the old NASCAR game from like 2002, 2003.
I actually really enjoy NASCAR games. There's a lot of tinkering in the NASCAR games.
Well, I preferred by far the road tracks to these ovals.
Oh yeah, the road tracks are way better, hands down.
Granted, there was only like 2, maybe 3 at the time.
Yeah, in Forza, you can create custom tunings for cars and post them online and sell them to other players for money. And in Forza 5, it was Forza 4 or 5, you could actually create like an online store, and this was all using in-game currency. It wasn't like a premium shop, but you could create a store and like little banner ads and stuff and sell them your tunings and your car designs and stuff. And I had one of the top-rated tuner shops for European supercars in the game.
Wow.
I made millions in that game just by selling custom tunings. Like, that's how much I love doing that stuff. So, I'm a hardcore racing sim guy.
Yeah, I'm more the in-between of arcade and sim.
I grabbed a very quick snack and went to the bathroom, and now I feel much better. Okie dokie, who's first?
Yeah, that's right. Who is on first?
What's on second?
I don't know. Third base.
Alright, so Kimmis is first.
No, who's on first?
Kimmis is the starting community person.
Yeah, which I'm pretty sure we're expanding to Community Nook. I think I grabbed a couple tweets that we've already covered, but since it's been so long since we actually done this, because we didn't really do that many tweets when Kyle was here.
Right, yeah. Because we recorded on a Saturday.
Yeah, so probably going to cover a couple of tweets that we already did. But I just wanted to, if someone's spending the time to send in a tweet or a message, I want to at least cover it. If I cover it twice, so be it.
Right.
I'd rather cover it twice than not at all.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
Did you have any messages directly to you that would fit for this, by the way? I did have one from Million.
I did not. I went and checked beforehand. And I mean, I've had some Twitter conversations and stuff with people, but nothing that I think is pertinent to the podcast.
Yeah, people don't talk to me much on Twitter. It's like I'm off-putting or something.
Excuse me. Yeah, I get it. I get into conversations with people about things. Yesterday it was Windows 10.
And about how you should just install Linux.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God. Power Rangers trending on Twitter. That's not going to end well, is it? Sorry, I went over to Twitter and I'm seeing trending topics and Power Rangers. Oh, boy. Just imagine in less than a month, Ghostbusters is going to be trending.
Oh, boy.
Did you see there's actually a combination of the new Ghostbusters game bundle and the movie. I'm not sure if it's going to be the new movie or if it's the good movie.
No, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, it's like $70 or $80. They're the new Ghostbusters game, which looks like just indie, the trashy end of indie, is a full price AAA title. It's $50-some. Yeah, it's $50 on Steam. Go take a look at it. And tell me this looks like a $50 game. Matter of fact,
right.
I'll give you a link to this. And this is going to be the outtakes, isn't it?
Yeah,
we haven't been off topic.
We've been doing really well, which is good.
Yeah, take a look at this and tell me that's a $50 looking game. This looks 15, maybe 20 to me.
Come on, Link, open up.
I won't say this much. The cast
is this a twin stick shooter?
Yeah, at least it looks like it. The cast for the game looks a hell of a lot more diverse than the new movie. Or sorry, they only have 2 women, so it's not nearly as diverse.
Man, this is
that's a $50 game.
Not worth $50.
I have put in for a review copy. I hope I get it because, oh man, I imagine that this is going to be bad.
I don't think I would play for this or pay for this at all. It just doesn't look good based on these pictures and the short trailer.
I'm comparing it to Sanctum of Slime, which is similar to this. And it would help if I type Ghostbusters correctly. And Sanctum of Slime is a $10 game right now. I think it debuted at $15 or $20. Go take a look at that. That's a very similar style.
It's on Steam, I assume?
Yeah, it's on Steam as well, but it's the same basic twin-stick shooter-esque. It just doesn't look as shiny because, it's an older game. And it's not widescreen, but it's the same basic idea.
Yeah, I mean, this is $10. This looks like a $5 to $10 game, so... Yeah. $50 is way too much. Way, way, way too much.
Yeah, when I saw the screenshots for it, whenever I was signing up for the review copies, I was thinking, this looks like a $15 or $20 time game, not a $50 game.
Yeah.
Of course, it makes me horribly, horribly sexist for saying that. It doesn't look like it's worth the price.
Absolutely, you're a sexist bastard.
Well, you know how it is with us angry video game people.
All right, let's do our community corner. Let's do
Yeah,
this.
I'm sorry. I'm just looking at the discussions. It's like people are agreeing with me in the price range. I can't wait for all the articles saying that the patriarchy held down Ghostbusters because of the game not selling for its overly inflated price point.
Patriarchy held it down hard. Real hard. Okay.
Elevator music over?
Yep. All right, Tiny Build loses $450,000 worth of game keys to gray market sites. Thou shalt not buy games from gray market sites. Second commandment of video game logic.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we both were interested in this article. Like, this is one where we found it independently of each other and both suggested it. So
Yeah, and this is going to be a fairly short one because this is going to rehash what we talked about quite a while ago. But this is proof and practice of what these sites do to independent developers. Well, this is actually a publisher, but that's beside the point. What it does to these small companies. I mean, this, for how many indie teams would be just a death blow?
Yeah, well, I mean, Tiny Build is not a huge publisher,
Tiny Build
right?
Tiny Build is not huge. They have a few published games on Steam, and they recently released one of their games for free because they, or one of their published games, I should say, for free on Steam because of a challenge that they had on Twitch. Or did you see that?
I did not see that. Counting up how many games they have: 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. They have 12 games in total.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure it was Tiny Build that had. I'm trying to think of what the name of it was. One Troll Army is the game. Let's see if it was Tiny Build that was it.
It's not on their list. Oh, that's not on their list.
Well, I'm seeing publisher Tiny Build on here.
Okay.
So it's probably not showing up on the list because it's not a paid game.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, One Troll. No, I'm seeing it on their Tiny Build.
I don't know.
I'm browsing publisher Tiny Build and I'm seeing it on here.
Huh. Well, I mean, I'm on their...
And a lot of their games are fairly cheap as well.
I'm on their website. Maybe it's just they've only got like a certain...
Well, see, I'm on the Steam store page, so there you go.
Yeah. But so, yeah, Tiny Build lost almost $500,000 worth of video games because...
chargebacks, that's what a lot of this was they were going through their independent store, buying up a bunch of keys, waiting a while, and then charging it back. And that not only costs them the amount of money that they lose in the sale initially, but also there's a chargeback fee on top of it.
Yeah. It's usually not a super high fee. Did they say in the...
Not that I saw, but here's the thing is that, $450,000 worth of keys, that's a lot of chargebacks.
Yeah, and I think that chargeback fees are like 2% of the total cost. And, well, it might be negotiated but per company and rates and stuff, but my dad has his own company, and I believe whenever the rare occasion that someone has done a chargeback on him, he has to pay 2% or 2.5% of the final sale in a fee for having to do the chargeback. So if that's the case, 2.5% of $450,000 is more math than I can do in my head right now because I'm sleepy. Pull up the calculator here.
$9,000
I mean, that's a lot of money for
an independent publisher.
A smaller independent publisher.
Well, yeah, a small publisher. Technically, a publisher can't be an independent. But
That's fair play. But a small publisher, I mean, that's a chunk of change.
yeah, it's just I completely understand the mindset of people buying these keys. They want these deals, but these are cheap games to begin with. Their complete pack on Steam is something like $50, and that is every single one of Tiny Build's games.
How many games is it?
Hang on, I just literally closed out that page, so I need to go find it again. But it's a good chunk of games.
Okay.
But their library is also very diverse. So,
is it the Mega 2016 bundle?
Yeah.
$53.46.
It's okay. It's not as big as I thought it was, but that is 6 things, which includes their original soundtrack, but that's just also their bigger games. And Tiny Build has a lot of more smaller games. It's I always view smaller publishers like this as pick and choose because they're just so it's so diverse in what they choose to publish.
Right.
That a mega pack like that isn't going to make a lot of sense, but if you want to have their bigger games, there it is.
Yeah. So, I mean, this sucks for them. Thankfully, they're big enough that they can eat it, eat the cost of the chargeback, eat the...
Yeah, but just imagine how many projects this puts into jeopardy or just kills outright that we don't know about.
Yeah, that's fair, too. I mean, $500,000 is a lot of money for small
according to
indie
this,
devs.
It was 25, just shy of 25,000 units of early access keys for speedrunners. 1,200 for Punch Club. Another just under 900 for Party Hard, which was the major ones on this.
So I mean, that's roughly 27,000 keys. So, I mean, this is something that does translate to a direct lost sale. That's really difficult to make for the piracy argument, but the people who bought these keys were people who bought the game, but the way that they were obtained wound up in such a way that Tiny Build lost the sale. So...
Yeah, well... I wouldn't say that 100% when these are lost sales because, or are technically lost sales because some of these could be like someone bought it from a bundle or bought a 4-pack for speedrunners to give an example, and sold the extra copies there. That is technically not a lost sale.
That's a fair point.
I am going to play devil's advocate on this. That it's probably not the full amount. It's probably a huge chunk of this amount, but it is still just deadly to indie developers.
Yeah. So, gray market sites suck.
Yeah, and really, just wait for a Steam sale, especially for games like Tiny Build stuff. A lot of these games are small on the price tag.
I mean, $5 to $10 is
I think
pretty...
I think their bigger games are like $15, not counting their mega pack, which, looking at it more, it's not as good a deal, but it's also, like I said, it's more of a just their major titles, and also the way Steam handles it.
Yeah,
their mega pack for me is just under $20 because I have 3 of the games.
Yeah, I don't have any of the. I don't think I have any of the games in the mega pack.
I have No Time to Explain Remastered, Party Hard, which is actually a review copy, which I'm planning on doing at some point for something. I'm not sure what. Which, maybe that makes me part of the problem, is that I have a review copy that I never did anything with, but I got it like a year after the game released.
Yeah, potentially, but
I didn't buy it from a gray market site either.
No, and you're not also using your review copy and selling it. You're actually going to use it. So
no, it's on my library. Granted, I think you would kill to have family sharing for my library.
Yeah, well, I mean, it wouldn't be bad for you either because we don't have all the same games.
Yeah,
we've only got what,
only problem
100 common games or 200 common games.
Yeah, only problem is that the way family sharing works, it doesn't really work out.
No. Yeah, I'm sure any of our listeners would love to have our libraries, access to our libraries.
Yeah, my library is showing, wait for Steam to load, 1,173 games. Yeah, and I'm probably going to be pushing 1,200 after the Steam sale.
Gotta buy them all.
Pokemon.
I've got...
Actually, I can't buy Pokemon.
I was about to start talking about the Steam sale stuff, but I mean that's for the end, so
Yeah.
we'll get to that. We'll get to
Yeah,
that.
it's just try to get your deals, but don't kill what you love in the process.
Yeah, I agree.
If you're wondering if a site is legitimate or not, I'd say the best place to really check is to go over to Reddit and go to the subreddit game deals, because they have a list of legitimate sites and they do not allow these gray market sites on there.
I love the game deals subreddit.
And I'm actually shocked that credit card companies are still dealing with these third-party companies, because there's just so many chargebacks that revolve around them.
Yeah, you think it'd be
Maybe
more
it's just
trouble
that-
than it's
yeah,
worth for them?
Or maybe they just don't care because they're still seeing their profit.
Yeah, they still get money from the chargeback fees, so who knows? The chargeback process is I don't know how it works for.
I'm surprised
depending on
that they
whether-
allow it so often that it becomes just a regular thing.
Yeah, because I've charged back once, and it was like a week week to a week and a half ordeal. It's like I had to call them, hey, there was this problem. I need to do a chargeback, and I had to have like proof of things like the because they're like, yeah, we don't want there to be any fraudulent chargebacks. So I suppose you could fake that stuff, but it just seems like such a hassle to me.
Well, they do detail. There's one case on here that on the announcement that we're going to link to, where they talked to a major seller on this site, and they talked about it's more they get a hold of a database of stolen credit cards from the dark web,
Right.
which is just a whole nother thing. And it's not the seller that's doing the chargeback; it's the people that legitimately have those credit cards and have a legitimate chargeback.
Right.
And this is also the reason why you're seeing a lot of sites really locking down their keys.
Yeah. I have had a couple of fraudulent credit card charges, but the banks don't really, or not the banks, but the credit card companies, at least in my experience with that, don't do chargebacks. They basically just are like, okay, if you're saying this is fraudulent, then we're going to cancel your card and get you a new one, and we'll remove this transaction. So they might do like the equivalent of a chargeback on wherever it was that bought stuff with the
Yeah,
card.
but you're not seeing all of the hassle about it.
But I'm not seeing the hassle, yeah. And that would make more sense to me. Because if people have stolen credit cards, they get used and it picks up, oh, hey, this is a weird purchase for you. Did you do this or has your card been stolen? It's like, yep, nope, that's fraudulent. And then they just replace the card and then handle everything on their end. They being the credit card companies.
Yeah.
I don't know. Regardless, it's all a sucky practice.
Yeah, and the fact that these gray market sites are sponsoring so many Twitch streamers, and Riot has, I think it was Riot that recently made it where you're not allowed to be sponsored by these companies anymore. That they're starting to really nail down these companies and trying to get their strangle them. Which it's weird that Riot is the voice of reason here.
Yeah. All right. Is it time for us to move topics?
Yeah, I think so. This was pretty much just rehashing what we said a few months ago, but this is just, everything we said in practice.
Yep, thou shalt not buy gray market video game keys. And our first news article, let me get up here to the topics list. Warcraft, the Warcraft movie, sets a record for the most money made by a video game movie. Let me pull this up here. It has made almost $380 million.
Oh, sorry, how much was that?
Almost $380 million. It's $379 million and some change.
Yeah, and the previous record holder was Prince of Persia, wasn't it?
Yeah, which was somewhere around 350, I believe. I actually closed the article and just pulled up the box office.
Is it
Mojo
bad
numbers.
that I didn't even realize that they made a Prince of Persia movie?
You didn't miss much. It's not a bad movie, but it's not Prince of Persia, really. It's like someone took it's what a lot of video games do, or video game movies do. It's like, okay, we'll take the concept of this and make a movie based around that concept, and then call it.
So, in other words,
the name
movie
of the video game.
walking around with the skin of the other of a game.
Yeah, pretty much. But the Warcraft movie is genuinely the first Warcraft game, with a couple of minor things changed so that it makes more sense as a movie. And I put this news article in here just mostly because I just want to talk about Warcraft for a couple of minutes. A lot of people, and I mean, I said this to you a couple of weeks ago when I saw it. It's the best video game movie I've ever seen. And you were like, well, I mean, that's a really low bar. That doesn't mean much.
I'm still going to say that is a very low bar for, I would say, 90% of video game movies.
Yeah.
And 100% of ones that have Yui Bowl attached to them.
And I mean, that really sucks. I get the perception. Most video game movies suck or are mediocre at best. So when a movie that comes out that's a video game movie is genuinely good.
We talked about this before when I think it was attached to the Warcraft movie as well. We looked at the review scores, which I know Warcraft reviewed very poorly. So it doesn't really matter that much. But the review scores for most of the video game movies didn't even reach mediocre.
Yeah. And the Warcraft movie is genuinely an excellent movie. It's got a lot of influence from The Lord of the Rings. It's got some kind of Game of Thrones influence in there from the TV show, not the book.
Also, there's a lot of tits.
Sadly, no, there's no tits, but there's some pretty graphic murder.
Well, you said it was Game of Thrones influence. Where's the tits?
Well, I mean,
Overwatch could have the ass. Warcraft could have the tits.
Oh. But, I mean, it is a really, really good movie. The effects are awesome. The acting is great. Even if you don't know anything about the world of Warcraft, you see what I did there? Even if you don't know anything about that,
why?
You could still go and enjoy this movie. It's a genuinely good movie, and it's shot well, the story is told well, the effects are great, and it's really sad that it's like, yeah, this is the best video game movie I've ever seen, and people are like, well, that's not a very high bar. But I think I said this to you when we talked about it.
I feel like I'm being called out here.
Well, I mean, I've heard that from lots of people, just you in particular, since we're here, you've said that. I think the best way to say it is that this is a genuinely good movie, not just a good video game movie. It's a really good movie. And I'm happy that it's done well. I'd love to see a Warcraft 2 and a Warcraft 3, and then a whole bunch of spin-off movies based on the World of Warcraft universe, because there's so much lore. And the fact that they've pulled it off once, because their production budget was $160 million.
That's pretty cheap for this type of movie.
Yeah, so they've more than doubled their production
I'm going to
budget.
ask you the question. Which makes a better video game movie? And I'm using this in sarcasm quotes because the other one technically isn't a video game movie, but it still has all the tropes. This or Hardcore Henry?
I've actually had that thought. They're very hard to compare because
they're two very,
they're
very
two
different. Well, it's essentially RPG,
movies.
high fantasy, or actually not really high fantasy, just general fantasy, and shooter-esque action. Two very, very different genres, both in movies and games.
Which one makes a better video game movie? Oh, that's tough. They really both were genuinely good movies. They're drastically different. This might... I'm not like trying to take a cop-out, but they're so different. I don't really know if I can... because they're both excellent at what they do. It's like, do you want something that's a little bit more slower, a little bit more story-driven? Warcraft is an excellent example of that from a video game movie. Do you want something that's reflective of playing a fast-paced video game? Hardcore Henry's what you should go to. So they both do a really good job of representing video games. They just do it in such different ways. It's difficult to compare it, at least on such short notice. Maybe if I had some time to think about it, but I mean, we can't spend a ton of time thinking about it.
You say that. You say it like we can't.
We shouldn't. We should. We have
Okay.
more topics to go through.
And
It's
you
also
do have to call it a night at some point tonight.
yeah, eventually. It's also important, I think, worth noting that most of only 10% of this movie's income has came from the United States. The rest of it has come from foreign markets, with about $200 million coming from China, which is interesting. I knew that this game was going to do, or this movie was going to do well in China. I did not realize how well it was going to do in China.
Yeah, that's really surprising.
Yeah. I think they knew that, though. I think they knew their audience, and they knew that was going to happen. It was going to make a lot more money overseas than it was in the United States.
Yeah, it's not going to be a domestic movie. And hopefully it's going to make it where it does get another sequel, or I should say a sequel.
Yeah. If you haven't seen the Warcraft movie, I would suggest that you go see it, both to you, Rage, and the audience. I know you don't go see movies, so I'm not expecting you to go see it, but I would suggest you do. There is one thing, though. Pay
Assuming
attention.
Redbox doesn't eat my video again, I'll probably try to rent it whenever it hits there.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I ever told that story on here. Basically, I tried to rent from Redbox, and it spit out the video about halfway, and it's like, nope, and ate it. And then I had a fun interaction with them on Twitter.
One thing to pay attention to when you watch this movie, though, it's interesting. I think it was originally going to be a very different movie. Like, it feels like there's a half an hour missing, and not in a bad way. It's just, I think that they were intended to spend a lot more time talking about different characters talking to one another.
Or a romance subplot. I remember you talking about that.
Yeah. I feel like there was this huge romance subplot that got cut out that makes a betrayal later seem less of a thing. And then also, I feel like there's a lot of character development, or maybe like lore, what would be the right word? Like fanboyism that was cut out, which is fine to take the movies to theaters and make it presentable to other people, but I would love to see, a director's cut or a special edition that has all that put in it. Because I know about the Warcraft lore. I mean, I don't know everything, but I'm very familiar with the world, so I'd love to see all that extra stuff. Ah, yeah. You got it. All right, next topic.
Yeah, I haven't really gotten a lot of followers. I've gotten one or two, but not a lot.
Yeah, over the last week, I've gotten several. I mean, not a ton, but, I'm happy to get,
as I go to check my Twitter, I see someone's following me, but it's all in Spanish, so I'm not sure if they're a follower or not, or just someone random.
They're following you in Spanish.
Maybe I'm funnier in Spanish.
Probably.
And this would be where I would say something in Spanish, but see.
Me gusta la leche de chocolate. Let's see.
What did you say to my dog?
I said I like chocolate milk.
I actually took French instead of Spanish because my Spanish teacher at my high school quit during the summer that I was signed up to take Spanish. Mm-hmm. And the French teacher was also the English teacher that I loathed. So I did terrible in that class and failed it.
I took Spanish in high school and French in college, and I retained more Spanish than I did French.
Oh, I absolutely hated that teacher. She would make you take notes on every single short story that you read. Write out but it wasn't just, take general notes. It was, you had to write out a sentence that you were taking note on, then write all your notes about it. So for a story that had a fairly dense storyline to it, that you'd have to take a lot of notes on, you would essentially write out the entire storyline or the entire short story. And then your notes. I hated her.
That's too much writing. My French teacher in college was crazy. Like, legitimately crazy. He was a conspiracy theorist kind of guy. And he
also, you're saying SpaceX was a bunch of garbage?
He never mentioned SpaceX, but he always was like, I know. I receive emails from the vice president of this organization, and they tell me all of these things, and I know what's going on in the government. And one day he was like, he legitimately was one of those people that he came in and he was like, I saw the Virgin Mary in the toast that I made this morning. And we were like, okay.
And he didn't sell on eBay?
No, he worshipped, well, I don't know if he worshipped the toast, but he kept it. And he used to walk around, he had a very hairy chest. And I know that because he always unbuttoned one button too many on his shirts.
Are we talking normal Harry or Robin Williams Harry?
Like Robin Williams Harry.
Wow.
And he was very proud
in other words, Sasquatch.
He was very proud of his chest hair. And he only would walk on the left side of the hallway, like in the direction that he was going. So normally, traffic in the United States, at least anyways, normal traffic flow through hallways, people walk on the right. He would walk on the left, and he had to touch the wall. He could not walk down the hallway without touching the wall. So like if a door was open, he'd have to wait so that he wouldn't have to take his hand off the wall. And like whenever you went past the bathroom, they would, how bathrooms in like big buildings are often like recessed in a little bit. He would have to walk inside the little place before the bathroom door opens and like walk through there. He was interesting. He was hilarious.
So how many files do you have on just notes you've written about him?
Oh, this is from before that. This was an undergrad before I really.
Yeah, but can you imagine now if you knew him?
Oh man, yeah. No, he was a character. He was actually a pretty good French teacher, though. I have to say, he was pretty good at teaching French. I just didn't care about learning a language, but it was required as part of the general education at the college that I went to. You had to take at least 2 semesters of a language. So I picked French because Katie was a year ahead of me, or a semester ahead of me in French. So I had her help me and cheated off of her a lot because I was really bad at French. About all I can do in French anymore is count. And I'm not even sure if I could count to 10 in French. But I know several random Spanish phrases. I can count in Spanish and a few other things. So I also can read Spanish.
So tell me, do you know Jesus? Or Jesus?
Sí, señor. ¿Qué es el monstruo en mi pantalones? There's a monster in my pants. And then I know the fun stuff like swears, like "Basa mi culo punta," kiss my ass, bitch.
And there goes the
child safety rating for this episode.
Granted, I've already cussed a few times. So.
Well, I mean, we're very deep into outtake / random Fraken content at this point. I mean, what the heck does speaking Spanish?
Depending on how lazy you are, once again.
How much time we're at? Who knows?
Even we don't know what's going on anymore.
Vamos desnudos. That's a good one. That's the very first thing I ever learned in Spanish. Vamos desnudos, which is let's go naked.
Why did that not surprise me? I mean, really, that did not surprise me one bit.
Oh, I love my Spanish teacher. I still talk to her. We're friends on Facebook. She every great once in a while we get together and hang out. So
well, just be careful speaking Spanish too much, otherwise you'll end up on the other side of the wall, and you'll end up building it
and paying for it. Fun times. Even though I hated learning Spanish, it was one of the only classes I enjoyed in high school because my teacher was awesome. She was cool. Cool lady.